Percy's special delivery. The post train is one of the most important trains on the Fat Controller's railway. It delivers letters and parcels to places across the island. Percy loves to deliver the post because it's his favourite job. Thomas helps out too, and both engines help to get every piece of post delivered to everyone, come rain or shine. Percy thinks it's the best job ever. One evening, Percy returned to Tidmouth Sheds feeling tired. He had finished delivering the last of the post. He felt very pleased with himself. "What fun it is to deliver the post!" he smiled. "I cannot think of a better job to do." "You're a credit to the Fat Controller," said Thomas. "You do a wonderful job with the post train." Percy beamed happily, but Gordon snorted. "Delivering the post isn't as important as pulling the express," he said. "Passengers always come first." This made Percy cross. "Pulling the post train is a very important job," he said, "and it's essential like any other job." "Pah!" huffed Gordon. Percy just puffed into the shed. He felt cross with Gordon. Later that evening, Percy couldn't sleep. He was thinking about all the post he delivered. Then he saw Thomas asleep. Percy whispered to him. "Thomas," whispered Percy, "do you ever wonder what it would be like to receive something through the post?" "Of course not," sighed Thomas. "Engines don't get letters or parcels." But Percy couldn't stop thinking about it. "Would you think how exciting it would be if an engine got something delivered through the door?" he asked. "Well, I don't know," puffed Thomas. "It sounds like fun." "It is fun," smiled Percy. "Just think of the excitement of getting a letter or parcel, and think of the fun you could have on discovering what you have been given." Thomas was surprised to hear this. He gave a little smile and then looked at his friend. "I think that's enough for tonight," he said. "We'll see what jobs we get delivered in the morning." Percy sniggered at this and then went to sleep the same time as Thomas. The next morning, the sun shone and the birds sang. Thomas was making steam and ready to work. The Fat Controller came to the shed to see the engines, but he noticed that Percy wasn't outside the shed. "Where's Percy?" he asked. Just then Percy's driver returned from the shed with some bad news. "We've got a problem," he said. "We've checked Percy all over and there's a problem with his whistle." The Fat Controller was worried. They all went into the shed to see Percy. Percy was feeling glum. "We can't seem to get Percy's whistle to work," explained the fireman. "It won't work." "I'm sorry, Percy," sighed the Fat Controller, "but I'll have to send you to the works to be mended." "Oh no," groaned Percy. "That means I can't pull the post train today." "I'm afraid so," said the driver. The Fat Controller came out of the shed to see Thomas, Emily and Gordon. "Thomas, I'm going to need you to deliver the post train for Percy today," he said. "Percy cannot work again until he has his whistle fixed." "Yes, sir," puffed Thomas, "but who will run my branch line?" The Fat Controller turned to Emily. "Emily, can you look after Thomas's passengers, please?" he asked. "Of course I can, sir," smiled Emily. "Gordon, before you can pull the express, you need to take Percy to the works," the Fat Controller finished. Gordon didn't like the sound of this, but he knew that really useful engines don't argue. Gordon set off pushing Percy to the works. Percy felt sad that he couldn't work, but he knew that it wasn't safe for engines to run without whistles. Soon they reached the work shed and Percy was shunted into place. Victor and Kevin could see that Percy was upset. "Don't worry, Percy," smiled Kevin. "We'll have you fixed up and ready to work in no time." "Speaking of ready to work," puffed Gordon, "I have to pick up my passengers." And he puffed away to Knapford Station. Percy watched as the workmen came to have a look at his whistle. It didn't take them long to find what was wrong. "Your whistle is jammed," said a workman. "It looks like it's beyond repair." "Don't worry," comforted Percy's driver. "You'll have a new one fitted on in no time." But then there was a problem. The manager came out to see Percy. "I'm afraid we've got no more spare whistles," he said. "There's no more in the shed anywhere." "No whistles?" moaned Percy. "But there must be one somewhere," said Kevin. "We've got some new whistles arriving today," Victor put in. "I've got to go to the docks to pick them up." "Then I suggest you go and pick them up, please," said the manager. "Yes, sir," said Victor, and he puffed away to collect his cargo. Meanwhile, Thomas was on his way delivering the post. He was pleased to be pulling it, but he felt very sorry for Percy. "Poor Percy," he thought. "I wish there was something we could do to help him." Just then, Rosie popped up alongside Thomas. She was pulling a goods train to the wharf.
"Hi, Thomas,"
she whistled happily. "Hello," puffed Thomas. Rosie was surprised to see Thomas looking worried.
"What's wrong?"
she asked. Thomas told Rosie all about Percy and his broken whistle.
"Oh dear,"
gasped Rosie.
"No engine ever wants to go to the works to be mended."
"If only there was something I could do to help him," said Thomas.
"I'm sure there is," smiled Rosie. "Something will come."
Thomas and Rosie reached Callan Station, where Tom Tipper, the postman, was waiting with some mail sacks. The two engines came to a stop in the station. Tom Tipper was surprised to see Thomas. "Morning, Tom," wheezed Thomas. "Percy's away having his whistle fixed today." "Oh dear," said Tom. "I hope he's all right."
"I'm sure he's fine,"
said Rosie.
"He's in good hands with the workmen."
Then Victor arrived alongside Rosie. He was on his way to the docks. "Hello, my friends," he whistled. Thomas was pleased to see Victor. He asked if Percy was all right. Victor told Thomas, Rosie and Tom the bad news. "I've got to collect new whistles," he explained, "so Percy is going to have to wait." "Poor Percy," said Tom. "What he needs is a surprise." Then, suddenly, Thomas had an idea. He remembered what Percy had said to him the night before. "I know how to cheer Percy up," he said.
"You do?"
grinned Rosie. So while the mailbags were being loaded into the trucks, Thomas told his friends what Percy had said about receiving letters and parcels and about his plan to make Percy feel better. Tom was amazed. "I see what you mean," he said. "It could be like Percy's special delivery." "Exactly," smiled Thomas. Rosie liked the idea a lot, but Victor wasn't so sure. "It's very irregular," he said, "but I suppose it would cheer Percy up." "I'll ask the Fat Controllers if it's all right," said Tom Tipper, "but we'll need an empty box." "We'll check every station we stop at," said Thomas's driver. "A station is sure to have an empty box somewhere." Everyone agreed to the plan, and even Victor had to smile at it. At last the post trucks were loaded, and the three friends back to work. Thomas puffed across Sodor with the post train. Wherever they stopped, his driver checked with the station master if they had any empty boxes they could spare. But sadly, not one station had one. Thomas was determined to put his plan into action. At the works, Kevin was trying his best to cheer Percy up. "Cheer up, Percy," smiled Kevin. "I'm sure Victor won't be long." But Percy was still feeling the same as he had felt that morning. "It's no fun being sent for repairs," he sighed. "Being really useful is better than being sent here." "Being repaired is a really useful thing," said Kevin. "That's true," agreed Percy's driver. "Sometimes you need to understand just how useful it is to be sent away for repairs." Percy thought about this for a long time, but he wasn't at all sure about it. Thomas puffed into the docks. He was to collect some post from the mail boat. Thomas could see that Victor was there with the Fat Controller. He stopped right in front of him. "Thomas, I've heard about your plan to cheer Percy up," he said. "It goes against regulations, but maybe it will cheer Percy up." Thomas was worried about this. He was sure the Fat Controller would say no. "We'll try it," he smiled. "We've got an empty box ready for the new whistle." "Yes, sir. Thank you, sir," cheered Thomas. While the mail sacks were being loaded into the trucks, Thomas's driver and fireman went to work making Percy's parcel. They wrapped up the parcel and then tied it up with a piece of string. It didn't take them long to do. Then as the crew climbed back into Thomas's cab, it was time to go. "On your way, Thomas," said the Fat Controller. "Take the parcel straight to the works first, please. Victor will go with you." Thomas agreed, and he puffed out to the docks. Victor followed on behind with the new parts for the works. The two engines raced as fast as they could to Percy. "I hope Percy likes his parcel," Thomas puffed to Victor. "I'm sure he will," smiled Victor. "Percy likes surprises." Thomas and Victor potted to the works where Percy stood waiting. He looked very sad. "Hello, Percy," smiled Thomas. "I have a surprise for you." Percy was surprised. "A surprise? For me?" he asked. Thomas's driver pulled out a small parcel from the postman and walked over to Percy's driver. The parcel was handed over to Percy's driver. "Look at this, Percy," smiled his driver. "It's a parcel for you." Percy was so excited he couldn't contain himself. Open it, please," he begged. The driver carefully pulled off the string and then opened the parcel. Inside the parcel was a small box. The driver opened the box and then gasped when he looked inside. "Look at that," he said. He carefully pulled out a new whistle. Percy gasped with delight. "My new whistle," he cried. "It's here." "Now we can fix you," smiled Kevin. "Let's get to work then," said Victor. "I must go," puffed Thomas. "The post must get through." He whistled goodbye to Percy and then puffed away. The workmen soon went to work fixing Percy's whistle. They took out the old whistle and cleaned the new one. After a long while, the new whistle was put into place and Percy's driver gave it a test. "Peep, peep!" "It works!" cheered Victor. "Hooray!" rattled Kevin. Percy was so happy he couldn't think of anything to say, so he just blew his new whistle. That evening, Thomas was puffing back to the shed. He had worked very hard delivering all of the post. He felt very tired, but was pleased to have done his job. By the time he returned to the shed, he was exhausted. Percy and the other engines were waiting for him.
We're all heard what you did for Parcel,"
smiled Emily. "You're a very good friend indeed," agreed Billy.
"Thank you for my parcel, Thomas,"
said Percy happily. Thomas was happy to see his friend feeling better again, but Gordon wasn't impressed at all. "Engines getting parcels," he huffed. "Whatever next?"
"It's very unheard of,"
agreed James. "Come on, Gordon," said Gordon's driver. "Otherwise we'll be late for the night's passenger train." Gordon was pleased to be going. He liked pulling the passenger trains at night. He always pulled the 5:20 p.m. train from Knapford. Gordon whistled proudly and he slowly puffed out of the shed. But no sooner had he puffed onto the turntable, there was a loud crack. Gordon gasped as his driver slowed into a stop. "What was that?" gasped Gordon. "Your cylinders are burst," his driver said. "You'll have to go to be mended." Gordon now felt silly.
Oh dear, chuckled Rosie. "Looks like you won't be going anywhere for a while."
"I'll be taking your train by the look of it," smiled James.
Then Percy saw a chance to be cheeky.
"Thomas, do you think we could get some new cylinders for Gordon through the post?" he asked. "That would keep Gordon quiet for a while."
"I don't think he'll be saying anything for a while," sniggered Thomas. "To Gordon, it's undignified." And all of the engines laughed and laughed. Gordon didn't say a word, and Thomas and Percy smiled from buffer to buffer.